only closing thought that I can think to offer up is to also give yourself grace in the process. This stuff is like hard, and like I said, holidays conjure up so many feelings and emotions. And really just think about, like, why is this conversation important to you? If it's really not important, worth it, like really like worthy of your energy, like song says, step away. If you get emotional in the process, like, step away, give yourself grace, like recognize that you're not perfect also, in the way that you really like might react. And really just continue to reflect on your values, and like what is like most dear and important to you in that gathering and in that moment. Is it to be right? Is it to be in community? Is it to eat good food, if food is like a part of like your traditions? What is it? And really like center that and give yourself grace along the way.
Yeah, I think Glendean nailed it. Just well, I think I learned a ton kind of coming out of this conversation, where there are those opportunities to stand up and arch your back and be that ally. Especially Sergio, you brought it up. You're a male, so am I. And I'm a white male, and sometimes my shadow looms large, and it's like I can be that ally for somebody, as opposed to just removing myself from the situation. I think kind of balancing that. Sometimes it's that self-protection of just like, I need to get out of this situation. But if that opportunity comes for me to be that person that Glendean comes to and says, hey, let's check on the rabbits. I want to be there and support that person if they need someone to stand shoulder to shoulder with them and kind of take on a tough conversation, or if it is like, let's go outside and go for a walk. It takes a lot of different forms, the allyship, I think. And it's not one size fits all. There's not one perfect way to do it. It's situational. So continuing to lead with empathy and curiosity, and to try and 5% change or 5 degrees change your views by 5 degrees. I think that that's where me personally, I can be at my best. So thank you everyone for this conversation and giving me a lot to think about.
Yeah, and I'll just add a final note for myself, which is, being present, I think, is so important, and meaning being present in that moment, not to just enjoy the gathering, but also when you're present, and that might be the one opportunity for you to, whether it's educating, understanding, connecting with that person more, that moment might not happen again. So therefore, try to utilize that in the best way that you would like to. And again, I think Glendean mentioned about like, what are your values, right? And so, making sure that you're spending that moment being present and adding value to, your current values. And I think making sure that you're also balancing yourself with having those hard conversations, because they're very important, but then also peace and grace for yourself. So that would be my final thought.
Thank you all. I would love to close first by thanking you all for being on this panel for RIDC. Thank you, Glendean, Song, and Jeff. Thank you to RIDC for organizing this event and sharing with the audience in the running industry. Thank you for all attendees, participants for this. Be open, send us your questions, send us your comments. We are curious to learn more about that, because that's precisely what makes us richer and more diverse, is learning from different experiences. Personally, I will say that self-reflection centering others, and developing empathy has been very helpful for me to use my own personal experience and identity, not only for me to feel better as a member of society, but also to support others. And something that has been very, very helpful is when others thank you for being uncomfortable, when others thank you for saying the uncomfortable thing, or for saying something that makes them be seen, that helps them feel seen. When people give you feedback, take that feedback. When people get emotional, understand where that emotion, because all of that is telling you if you are going on the correct route or if you are not helping. Be open to feedback. Also, we usually say, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to make a mistake. And I think that's a cop-out mechanism. A lot of men after Me Too campaign started saying, I don't know how to say hello to women anymore. Well, just be a normal person and treat people as normal people. Don't be afraid. And if you make a mistake, acknowledge your mistake, address your mistake, and show that you will do better the next time. We do learn by mistakes. The RIDC exists to address social justice in the running industry, but each one of us, staff members, board members, and all of our partners have their own circles and their own individual lives that connect and interconnect in those networks. And so as we speak up and as we open more spaces for people to feel comfortable, we will be changing not only the running industry, but our own societies, our own communities where we live. And just because we advance social justice for certain communities, it doesn't take away from the rest of us. Just because we want to advance women in leadership roles, it doesn't take away from anybody else. It doesn't take away from anybody else when we add new experiences. In fact, it helps us learn more, know more, and have more experiences that allow us to see the world from other people's eyes. So get comfortable in those conversations when you can. Be safe when you can. Choose your fights, and come back to our IDC and visit us and give us your feedback, because we want to keep advancing social justice in the running industry. Thank you all.